These are terrible. Anybody who's had to wear one of these, I'm sorry, it sucks. Let's move on. Boots. This is a boot. This is actually a hiking boot by a company called Salomon. They make phenomenal outdoor boots. No, I'm not being paid to say that. I am in no way at all endorsed or sponsored or paid by Salomon to say how much I like these boots. That being said, the rest of the brands that are here that I'm going to talk about, I'm not getting paid by anybody. I talk to you guys about what I like and I recommend what works. This is the absolute bare minimum that I would ride in. It's got to be above the ankle support. It's got to be stiff to give you that rigidity to help you prevent ankle injuries. The downside to a hiking style boot on a bike, it's not made for a bike. Now these are built really, really well. So when these hit the ground or they're overly abused, they're not going to just blow apart and fall off your foot. They're actually going to give you some level of protection. The downside to them is there is no crush protection on these boots at all. So if you're riding something big and heavy, like this KTM 1190 Adventure R or a BMW GS 1200, whatever you're riding, if that thing comes down on your ankle, this isn't going to give you any support or any protection at all. So that's something to take into consideration. Bare minimum as to what I would wear, a very, very heavy duty, well-constructed hiking boot. I do wear these a lot. I love these, especially riding on my Thruxton. They're made out of really sturdy leather. These are Red Wings. They're part of their heritage line, so they're very, very well made. Goodyear welted sole, which I really like because any boots that you wear on a bike, your foot pegs are going to end up wearing through the middle of the boot. So when that actually happens on these, instead of replacing a pair of boots, all I have to do is get it resoled and I'm good to go. Saves a lot of money. Kind of a larger upfront investment like you'll have with most of the high quality stuff. But in the long run, it will end up saving you money because it will outlast and you can generally have it repaired instead of having to replace it. Downsides to this boot is, again, it's not a motorcycle specific boot, so it doesn't have any armor or special protection built into it. There's no crush protection on it. It does fold up if you press on it, so you're not going to have any crush protection if you come off the bike. And then because it is kind of a lower top boot, although it does give you some ankle support as far as your foot flexing, over flexing and causing an injury, it's not as much support or protection as you'll get out of a motorcycle specific boot. One of my favorites, wear this thing all the time, it's great. This is a motorcycle specific boot. More specifically as to the specifics of this motorcycle specific boot is it is a road boot. You can tell it's a road boot because generally road boots are a little bit lower cut than off-road boots. Also, they have a very smooth sole, no big knobs or anything like that for traction off-road because you're not riding off-road. Some of the nice features about these boots, these are a very low-cost boot. They're kind of an entry-level boot made by a company called First Gear. They make some pretty good stuff. Don't have a whole lot of experience with their brand or their line in its entirety. But so far what I've seen isn't really too bad. There's a couple of small things. I don't think this is real leather because it's like wearing off there, which I don't think would happen on real leather, but doesn't matter. It does have ankle, can you hear that? Ankle protection built into the boot. It's also got protection on the outside of the toe, which is nice abrasion protection for going down on the road. Maybe you're super into leaning in the corners and you like dragging your toe. It'll give you a little bit of protection for that. There's other companies out there like CD or City, however you say it, and Alpinestars that make more of a racing style boot for on-road. It gives you much, much more protection than something basic like this. But this is more designed for, I'd say, the road rider who's riding around, going to the mall, who's going to be walking around, he's going to get lunch, going to be walking around, going on a date, and going to be walking around something where you're kind of, I'd say 60-40 riding to walking. It is comfortable to walk around in, although not as comfortable as just a regular pair of shoes. Also, these are waterproof, which is really nice if you're riding in the rain or you're riding to work, you commute. That is going to help you to keep your feet dry so you're comfortable. Although because they are waterproof, they are not the coolest boots in the world. So if you're riding in the middle of summer, they're black, they're waterproof, they're not gonna breathe as well, your foot's gonna sweat. So think about that. Good boot, especially for the money. I think I got these for under 200 bucks. These are my Alpine Start Toucans. These are my adventure boots. They are an absolutely phenomenal boot. They're all dirty and gross looking because I use them a lot. You can see on this side, they're also very, very scuffed up. The reason for that is about 10 weeks ago, 11 weeks ago, I broke my ankle. I was out riding in Wyoming. I burned into a corner a little hot, ended up going into a low side at 70 miles an hour on a fire road because of some gravel. Everybody loves gravel. Gravel's the greatest. I slid right into a rock that was buried about halfway into the road. I hit it, according to my watch, doing about 65 miles an hour. So I didn't have a whole lot of time to slow down on that gravel before I hit the rock. The rock ended up shearing the foot peg off the bike. It compressed my foot. When it compressed my foot, it also flipped it around. So now my leg was compressed, twisted, and backwards. Then the bike came down on top of my leg, twisted it, and that's what snapped my ankle. It wasn't a crushing break. It was a twisty, pushy break. The force was actually so hard it traveled up my leg and broke my fibia in 3 places up by my knee. That lets you know how hard I hit that rock. So I do not fault these boots at all for breaking my ankle while I was wearing them. I was doing something that wasn't very smart. I hit something that was very, very solid, going very, very fast, and it was inevitable. Now, if I hadn't been wearing these boots, it would have been a lot worse. But the boot protected me extremely well. It did the best job it could do. And I did not do the best job I could do. So I still got hurt, but the boot is extremely rugged. The only thing wrong with the boot is it's kind of scratched up on the outside, and I really don't care, or on the inside rather. Some of the features on this boot that I really, really like are the heat shielding on the inside of the boot. Some of the bikes that are out there have extremely hot exhausts or engines, and your leg sitting next to that all day is uncomfortable. This keeps the heat at bay quite well. It's also a waterproof boot. So again, kind of the downside to that is riding in extreme heat. It's not going to breathe the best, but it is a Gore-Tex it is Gore-Tex. So it does breathe quite well. Your feet don't get as sweaty or as bad, but they will get warm. It's got 2 buckles for closure, and it's a new Alpine Stars style buckle, which is like the toggle in a loop type thing. So they are very, very strong. And they're also very easy to clean. If you get dirt and mud and stuff in there, just knock it a little bit and all that stuff comes out. Super easy to clean. And it's not going to get jammed up on you. And the buckles are replaceable. This is kind of Alpine Stars top end adventure boot. They have a couple other ones. I can't remember the model names, but a couple steps down as well, which are good. These are metal buckles. The step down has plastic buckles. But nice thing about these buckles is because they are replaceable, if you do get the lower end boot and you want the metal buckles, you can buy the boot, purchase replacement buckles, and put cool metal buckles on your boot. Save a little bit of money. Kind of cool. But if you're going to do that, step up into the Toucans anyway. It's just a better boot. It's got articulated ankles, so when you're walking around, you can actually move your foot. They are much more comfortable to walk around in than like a full set of Supercross or motocross style boots. The buckles also are protected on the boot. The top buckle is kind of wrapped farther around behind the leg. So if you do come off, it's not going to shear that buckle. The buckle will stay intact. This one's also protected by 2 kind of raised parts in the protective plastic on here, which protects the buckle so that doesn't shear. So if you do come off and it's bad, like I can tell you, I came off super hard. My buckles didn't pop. Everything stayed fine. The boot stayed on my foot. It did its job phenomenally well. I really can't fault it. I love these boots. I 100% recommend these boots. Especially for, fairly aggressive adventure riders. They're just fantastic. Next step up as far as protection goes is a full-on motocross or dirt bike style boot. Now with this, it is extremely stiff. These things are not made to walk around, but they give you the most protection out of anything else out there. Like I said before, CD and Alpine Stars also make this level of protection in a road boot. They make them like their Moto GP type boots. I can't remember what the model names are, but they offer the same kind of feature sets as far as protection and that goes. Very, very specific to high-speed crashes on the road, where these are kind of more geared towards fairly high-speed crashes in the dirt. These are an older boot. These are the Alpine Start X7s. The next step up from these, I think, would be the Alpine Start X10s. A couple of the nice features that that X10 offers you. Something that I really like is there's a bootie that actually you put on your foot first, and then you put your foot in, and the bootie's got kind of an ankle brace built into it, which is really nice. It's also got a little bit of extra padding around the ankle, just to offer you that next kind of step up in protection. Because these are a little bit older boots, these do have Alpinestar's old buckle closure system. I'm not a big fan of these buckles. Sometimes they can get stuck, and when they get stuck, it takes an act of Congress to get these things off. Other than that, they're great. They are a replaceable buckle, so if you do snap a buckle for some reason or there's an issue with it, instead of having to replace the whole boot, you can just replace the buckle system, save yourself some money. Another very nice feature of these boots is they have a replaceable midsole. You are going to wear through this part of your boot riding motorcycles, especially something geared towards off-road. It's going to have very aggressive teeth on the foot pegs, which will wear through your boots fairly quickly. If you can't replace the sole, or at least replace the middle part of the sole, then you have to replace the whole boot once that thing wears through, which is going to be another $200, $300, whatever it is. Where these, you can just get a replacement instep and replace that part. I don't know how much they are. I think they're $50, something like that. So $50 to replace that on a set of boots is a whole lot better than another $300 to replace an entire set of boots. And that's one of the things that you're going to find as you step up in price and quality in boots, is you're going to find a lot more replaceable parts. They're made to last you a lot longer. They're made to be repairable instead of replaceable, which is extremely nice. It will save you money in the long run. It's that kind of buy once, cry once mindset or philosophy. You spend the money up front. It's an investment. It's an investment in protection, and it's also an investment in quality. And save that money up until you can get something that you know is going to last. It will end up saving you in the future, save you money, save you pain, save you a trip to the hospital, and at the very least, save your ride. So, yeah, get what you can and get the best that you can, especially when it comes to protection. This is the most important stuff we have. We don't have airbags, we don't have seat belts, we don't have any of that. All the protection that we have, we wear on our body, which we will end up talking about more protective equipment. I am a kind of a gear guy. I do like having gear, and I like quality gear. So we're going to talk about neck braces, helmets, jackets, pants, gloves, all that stuff. So stay tuned. Hit the subscribe button, wherever that is. I think it's going to end up being over here. Give me a thumbs up if you like what you see. Go over to my other social medias, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I just had to reset my Facebook thing up because they told me I did something, whatever it was, and they deactivated my account. So we should be good to go now. I think I got all that stuff straightened out. Again, thank you guys for watching. Head on over to the other social medias, like, subscribe, follow, do whatever you do on those, and we will see you guys next time. I've been looking at the thing. You guys have seen I've been looking at the thing. I'm gonna try this again. My shoes are untied. Make them pretty. Nobody likes garbage spaghetti shoelaces. I'll learn how to do this. I promise you guys. Just stick with me. I'll learn how to do this. One day you'll be good at this. Much better. There we go. It's a frozen day here in the what? Where am I? Today we're going to talk about how to stay out of one of these by wearing some of these. All right, here we go. Take 74. That was nice. Try this again. Boots. I forgot my prop boot, my boot. Stand by.